I still don't know what was out there in the woods. All I know is something was there, and it followed us. No footsteps, no sounds, just the feeling that we were never alone. And then, one by one, we started vanishing. It was supposed to be just a quiet weekend away, me and my best friend Mike, just like old times. We'd grown up fishing together at every chance we got. But today, adulthood and the demand of life has taken a course that we hardly have time together to go fishing. But this time, we promised to still make time and go finishing. So that October, we picked a remote lake deep in the woods of northern Maine. Mike had heard about it from a colleague he worked with. No crowds. He said, "You won't see another soul for miles." Looking back, that should have been the first red flag. The drive out took hours. The main roads gave way to gravel, then narrow dirt paths barely wide enough for Mike's old Jeep. Trees pressed in on both sides like they wanted to swallow the road whole. It was quiet and unnatural. We rolled the windows down at one point and just listened. No birds, no insects, just the sound of the tires crunching the dirt and our own breathing. But we laughed it off, told each other we just hit the off-season. Perfect for fishing, Mike said. No distractions. We got to the lake just before dusk. It was beautiful, I'll give it that. Still as glass, surrounded by towering pines that seemed older than time. There was a clearing where we set up camp. Just a tent, a small fire pit, and our gear. No cell signal, no lights, no civilization, just us and the wilderness. That night we sat around the fire, roasting cheap hot dogs, telling dumb stories. We drank a few beers, joked about Bigfoot, and watched the stars come out. It should have been perfect. But sometime in the middle of the night, I woke up. Not from a noise, but from the absence of noise. The fire had burned out, and everything was pitch black. I couldn't even see the shape of the trees. I lay there listening, my heart picking up for no clear reason. Mike was breathing steadily next to me, sound asleep, but something felt wrong. Like the air had changed. It was heavy, thicker, somehow. Then I heard it, a splash. It was faint, but close. Something in the water. I held my breath. Maybe it was a fish, I told myself. But then came another sound, closer this time. Wet footsteps, slow and squelching, moving from the lake toward our camp. I sat up fast and shook Mike awake. "What?" he mumbled. "Shh, listen." We both froze, and we heard it, the steps. One after the other, deliberately crunching damp leaves, moving toward us. We didn't move. We didn't speak. And then they stopped, right outside the tent. I wanted to scream, but something told me not to. My entire body was stiff with fear. Mike whispered, "Probably a bear." I shook my head. Bears don't walk like that. The silence that followed was unbearable. We waited, expecting movement, expecting something to happen, but it didn't. Eventually, Mike reached for the flashlight. He unzipped the tent just a crack and flashed the light outside. There was nothing there. No footprints, no animal, no sign of anything. But the fear didn't go away. It rather deepened. We stayed awake the rest of the night, both of us staring at the tent's walls like they might collapse at any second. When the first gray light of dawn touched the trees, we packed up our gear and walked to the lake, pretending everything was fine. We told ourselves we were just tired, that maybe we'd imagined it. Lack of sleep, darkness, and a little too much beer. It messes with your head. By mid-morning, we were fishing off a narrow wooden dock that stretched into the lake. Neither of us was talking much. The water was too still. I kept looking over my shoulder, feeling like something was watching us from the trees. Mike cast his line and sighed. "Feels different out here today." "Yeah," I said, not taking my eyes off the tree line. Then I saw it, just for a second. A shape, tall, thin, hunched, too tall. It stood between two trees, perfectly still, blending with the shadows. I blinked, and it was gone. "Did you see that?" I whispered. Mike was already turning to look. "What?" "There was," I sobbed. What could I say? "I thought I saw someone." "Someone?" Mike laughed nervously. "Out here?" I didn't laugh. "Let's go." We left everything behind. Poles, tackle box, even the cooler. We just started walking back toward the Jeep, picking up the pace every time we thought we heard something behind us. The worst part, every now and then, I'd hear a branch snap or something brush the undergrowth. But when I looked, there was never anything there. When we finally reached the Jeep, I swear I've never felt so relieved to see a vehicle. We climbed in, slammed the doors, and locked them. As Mike turned the key, I looked in the side mirror. Something was standing just behind the last row of trees watching us. It didn't move, didn't flinch, just stared. We tore out of there like our lives depended on it. Neither of us spoke for the first hour. Our hands were shaking. The silence in that car was deafening. We never went back for our gear, never talked to anyone about what we saw, and we never went fishing again. Mike doesn't even like to talk about the woods anymore. When I bring it up, he shuts down completely. I think we both know it wasn't an animal. It wasn't a person either. I still dream about it sometimes. The footsteps, the splash, the shape between the trees, and always the feeling that it wanted us to know it was there, that it could have taken us if it wanted to. Whatever it was, it let us leave. But I don't think it was finished with us. It's been over a year since we had that trip. Mike and I barely talk now. Not because we had a falling out, but because neither of us wants to remember. We went back to our lives, tried to pretend nothing happened. But the woods, they don't let go that easily. A few weeks ago, Mike called me out of nowhere. It was the middle of the night. His voice was shaking. "It's back," he whispered. I asked him what he meant. The lake, the sounds, the thing, I saw it in my backyard. I tried to tell him he was dreaming, that we were both just tired. But deep down, I knew he was telling the truth. And then, he said something that chilled me to the bone. "It's not just watching anymore." The line went dead. I haven't heard from him since. I went to his house the next day. His Jeep was still in the driveway. His door was locked from the inside. But he was gone. No signs of struggle, no note, just gone. But that's not the twist. See, when I got home that night, there was something waiting for me. It was on my front porch. A small box, wrapped in brown paper. No return address. Inside, there was just one thing. A wet fishing lure. The exact one Mike had used that day on the lake. I don't know how it got there. I don't know what that thing is or why it chose us. But now, I hear it too. Outside my window, in the woods behind my house. It doesn't knock. It doesn't speak. It just waits, watching. And I know it's only a matter of time before I vanish too. So if you're watching this, and you're thinking of going off grid, deep into the woods, just to get away for a while, don't, because there's something out there. And once it finds you, it never lets go.